after all the canvassing, just chatting with people. That was really fun, especially chatting with Destiny, chatting with the other streamers in the area. I think the first lunch, I just had a really good time. I think it was fun. Me and Fancy Sloth were roommates.
Fancy, parentheses, clout chaser, Sloth.
We were roommates, so we hung out a bunch and we talked to Like, and then we talked to Destiny, and that was just a fun time. And I think just collectively the canvassing was, like, just as an experience, not only was it like really unique to anything that I've ever done before, it was also just really satisfying to know that like I could have like with this huge group of people like an actual measurable impact on like politics, like in a meaningful way. I think those are like the big three things. Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed being able to like go out and actually like talk to people 100%. That was like the best experience going out on the first like couple days. Beyond that, I enjoyed getting to meet everyone in the community, hosting that community event for sure, playing games with everyone, just getting to know people as well. There's a very wide variety of people that come in this community from all over the United States, and so there's a lot of like varied experiences and good conversation to be had, essentially.
A man who was sitting on his porch, and the door, we were supposed to go up knock, so obviously we walk up to him, start talking to him. We find out that his electricity is turned off, and he's about to call an ambulance for himself because he is like having a weird headache, and like he's talking about how he's really struggling right now, and didn't even know that there was a runoff election. So like we were able to give him a pamphlet, we were able to give him the address to the polling places and everything. And he was excited about voting. And like we were able to like really talk to him and be like, hey, like if we flip this Senate, we're gonna be able to work on stimulus for everyone. Like we're gonna be able to work on better benefits for everybody. And like really talking to him about the policies that actually matter and impact him in his day-to-day was extremely, extremely important. And like you could see the difference in talking about the things that they care about and the things that actually impact them, and versus just like making sure that they go out and vote. So like those rare gems, in my opinion, were worth it 100%.
That's the thing, is that like everyone was so like, with very few exceptions, equally nice and like pleasant to canvas for, that like there wasn't anyone that was super stand out in that way. Everyone, like I had one like barely negative experience, and that was it. Like everyone was super chill, everyone was super nice. I heard like some bad experiences from other people, but even that was like super rare. Actually, no, there's one person. I was walking around and we just finished the door, and this lady came up, and she wasn't on our list or anything, but she came up and she said she needed some help with like getting a ride, and she needed help with finding her polling place. And we gave her all the information, and she was super grateful. She was super nice. She was really happy to see like people coming out of state to come in. I'd heard stories like that before, and it was really cool to experience that. I think that might be the standout like canvassing moment, even though I wasn't even like knocking on her door. It was just like a person who lived nearby.
The whole event. I'm just trying to stick to one, just because this is my third event, so I've been doing this for about close to a month now. But if I had to pick one thing that's really spoke to me, it was talking to one of the volunteers who had come out from the Destiny group, and they were telling me about the street they were on. They were talking about how they'd gone to every single house in the street, and then at the last house they were talking to this old man, and how like no one had answered the doors in all the other streets. And they were talking to the old man at the end of the street, and it was like, yeah, no one else is answering doors on the street, like what's going on? And the old man like pointed at each and every house and was like, that person got evicted 2 weeks ago, like this person got evicted a month ago, and et cetera, et cetera. And like the volunteer was talking about for them how they never really saw that up close, and how impactful it was for them to talk to that man and see like what was happening in these neighborhoods, and that just made them feel like, you know, this is why I need to be here, and this is why it matters. And like for me, that's what it's all about. That's what canvassing is all about, is that you're having real conversations, you're seeing it in action, and you're just like, I need to do more.
I heard a few interesting stories there. The thing is that like going into it the past few weeks, I heard a lot of people say that like it wasn't super eventful in the same way that you might expect. It was really just like everyone was really cool. And I think that kind of held up with the people that I talked to, is that they had a good time, not because like they had these like super standout experiences, but just everyone was like super chill. And it reminded me of the fact that like on internet, like politics could be super like extreme like all the time. But in real life, people are generally like pretty moderate, not in terms of politics, but just in terms of like their ability to engage with other people. Like you have all these crazy people on the internet who are like always super extreme in their antics or whatever. But in real life, people are just not like that. They're generally like really chill.
Just a lot of the, wow, I've never canvassed before kind of conversations where I felt like because I had some experience relating to it, I was able to provide a lot of additional information to be able to help people out, and that felt good to be able to kind of reciprocate. They're here to help everyone else out, to help the Democratic Party out, help the country out, that I could have those moments where they had a question about the app, or they had a question about what they needed to do or put down for certain like scenarios, and I was just able to pretty quickly and easily provide that.
Sure. I think the biggest thing that would push people away from it is just like the fear that the people that you're going to talk to are like, or canvas to or knock on doors for, they're like it's interactions that people might be afraid of just because they're complete strangers. You're showing up at their front door. You may have had interactions that weren't like super good like in the past when people knock on your door. And like I understood that going in, but like after the third or fourth door, it was like all the nerves were gone, and it was just like it reminded me that people are normal. Like most people are pretty normal, and that pretty much just quelled any type of fear that I could have about it, just because like every interaction was really just like uneventful at worst, pretty much. Like there really wasn't anything that I could say that I was like worried about after the couple first doors, because I was just like it's just people that are living their lives, doing their normal day to day, that come to the door, and they're just talking. And then beyond that, I mean, you get to if it's an event like this, you get to meet cool people. And you get to meet streamers if they're there. You get to talk to the community if they're there, and that's always a great thing to do, because it's always fun to get more engaged in the community. I know that I was able to engage with people that I would not have ever been able to otherwise. Especially because some of these people come from completely different parts of the country.
Right.
And like without an event like this, I would have never been able to meet any of these people, pretty much. So being able to do that, and especially during these times, get outside and just be able to do anything was a super fruitful experience.
I think the barrier in some people's minds is just that they don't feel comfortable with politics, and it's really sad to see, and from my eyes, just because like they know that it impacts their day-to-day life, but they think it's way too much work to go out and to actually do it, and they feel uncomfortable with it, which is the biggest part of it. When honestly, you're just kind of talking about your day-to-day issues and you're coming up with solutions for that. That's why I think organizing is so special. I honestly think I would count it as a lost art. Organizing normal people, just with the loss of unions overall, has played a big part of that in kind of the culture that we have here in America. And I think that's something that needs to be rekindled, because we're normal people out here organizing. Like the people here, like who are out here canvassing every single day, they're doing an astronomical job, and you know they're not extraordinary people. They're not like great men. Like it's not like we have 100 MOKs here. Like these are everyday people who are out here kicking ass and making sure that we can get the work done to get what we want, which is the 2 seats here. And I feel like we've kind of lost that spark here in America, and I think that's been a big barrier, and that's something I want to rekindle.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people that, like, when they first got here, I think there's just a lot of nerves coming into the event. This is oftentimes, for a lot of people, the first time you're really going out and doing anything that's kind of social again. 2, you're coming from a background where you've been isolated for a while, so just even meeting people or being around large groups of people can be kind of nerve-wracking. 3, you're about to do something that not a lot of people have experience with, which is going out and talking to complete strangers and having to knock on doors and everything. And I think all three of those things really kind of had people a little bit anxious about their experience coming up here, but I think very quickly people found that the community was really engaging and open, and there were a lot of very helpful people, especially on the math team, that helped to make all the transitions and people getting here smooth and help people kind of bridge that gap. And I think after the first day or so, people were really kind of getting into the spirit, having fun, being loud, playing games, and just kind of enjoying themselves. Communities and movements are made up by individual people, and it is those individual people that matter and need to show up on any day-to-day operation. No amount of organizing will fix that. And so it's just important for the individuals to realize that they have that positive difference. The world can feel very disconnected a lot of times online, and that is something that a lot of people kind of have to contend with. And I think realizing that these communities and spaces are real and in person, and you can connect with people while also being politically active, doing things that are beneficial to communities throughout the United States, and even potentially end up being beneficial to the rest of the world, can really bring about positive, effective change. And it's just the individuals that come together to do that.
Be politically active. I think that's it. Like, if you can be politically active in any way, that's like the big thing. And this is like it. To a lot of people, I think door knocking is like the pinnacle of political activity. But it's like also like, if you have events like this, really easy to get into. And I think being politically active, especially if you care about these issues, even if you don't care about these issues, there are tons of people that do that can't be like in the position that I was in. And if you're in a similar position to be politically active in this way, then it's like 100% worth it.
I would tell them, if you want to make the biggest impact while also learning so much more about people overall, about certain communities, about even the volunteers you having, hearing the stories that they had with the people they were talking to, and just learning about their lives, like, this is the exact event for that. You're able to make an impact politically. You're able to kind of grow yourself as an individual. You're able to learn more, and like it encapsulates everything. So that like even being here 2 days, you kind of come off of that and reflect upon it, and you're just like, wow, like it's a lot, but it's absolutely incredible, and like the fulfillment as well is incredible. I think the biggest thing that I've seen is just how much political action can do. I think when it comes back to the Afro-Sabi thing, she was so surprised, and I think she's still learning the community a little bit, the online political community, but I think she makes like one really good point in that she has like, you have this coalition of people on the internet who really know their shit when it comes to policy, when it comes to ideologies, things like that. And I think putting political action next to that or alongside that is really the next step to getting what you really want. And that can be something that maybe I may not agree with, but I still respect the fact that if you think that that's your good, you should have the right to push that as far as you can, and to build a coalition around that. There are going to be other people who believe in that as well. And that's how you get your message out. So that's really what I want to push people to do, is to kind of have political action or organizing or just learning more along with everything that you do online.
I would probably go back to really hammering the sense of community. I think everyone here really felt welcomed. I don't think anyone felt like they were alone or outcasted or anything. I think coming together and having something to bring you together like really helps. Like, if I randomly get stuck in line with someone, like, I have something to talk about. You know, we're both going campus, and like, hey, have you had any crazy doors? Like, hey, you know, how has it been? Like, stuff like that. It's like really good to get the conversation going. And the entire weekend that I was here, over 100 people came in and out. I don't think I ever saw one person that was like sitting alone and like didn't have anybody like around them talking. And that to me is like stuff that I notice, and like want to connect with people and like want to make sure that everyone feels welcome. But I didn't even feel like I needed to do that. So like if someone was thinking about it or considering it, I would say completely positive experience, meeting so many new people from all over the place, like really gaining experience as like a person and maturing while working towards something that I really care about. It's just like an all-around good building experience that I think I would say 99.9% of people would benefit greatly from it. So I would say, and just to like shorten it, it's in your best interest to get out and be an activist. That's what I would say. Like it is in your best interest. So
I think there's a lot of like draws that can happen even outside just becoming politically active that are very important. Like the social experience was one of the biggest things that a lot of people came here for the DGG community. So community in general is just really important, and that's what really draws a lot of people out. You don't want to just show up to some little canvassing thing where there's like 10 other people, you have absolutely no idea who they are, you're really going to talk to them maybe twice, 3 times at most, just simple little lines. Just people aren't really like appreciative of that kind of thing. And so making things more open, having set places, getting people out and helping to make sure they felt taken care of and that there were things that they could do even outside the political canvassing really helps to draw people in and make them feel comfortable with the experience. And then they get out and they're out with a couple other people they now know decently well, and they're able to have this really good shared learning experience where this is the first time basically this entire group has gone out canvassing, and everyone's able to relate to that, and it makes the anxiety go away way more quickly. And many people have told me like, oh, this was my first time canvassing. It was not anywhere close to how bad I expected it. I really had positive experiences. I came in here thinking I was going to get shooed away or like yelled at all the time, and everyone just loved having us come out there. And I think that really positive experience, both on the actual political canvassing side and all the back end of you're just here and you're kind of hanging out and around, really work together to coalesce people to make them become politically active.
Yeah, I think teaching them organizing is the way to do that. Like I said, organizing is something that I think is a lost art, and I think if we can ingrain that back in people, let them know that they can make a difference no matter who they are, and if they band together and kind of work together towards a common goal, like and anything is really possible. Like it sounds like this big idea, but it's really not. Like we've done it before. It's just something that we've lost in kind of this new age. And like I said, it's something that needs to come back. So I think organizing is really the key, and instilling that within our local communities. Destiny has been absolutely incredible throughout this whole thing. I did not know who Destiny was before this, and I'm sure, as you all know, if you do any type of research on Google into Destiny, I was a little bit apprehensive when I first looked him up, but I was like, this guy is committed. When I talked to him on the phone, this guy's committed to the cause. He claims he can bring all these people. Why not see what he can do? And Destiny has been far more of like a fantastic person than I could have ever imagined. So like a huge thank you to Steven, and just for everything that he's done, all the work that he's put in, because this, like he didn't have to do this. And from my experience, no other platformer on Twitch or YouTube or anything like that has ever done anything like this, especially on this large of a scale for this big of a race. So Steven really put himself out there, put his name on the line as well to do something like this, and he's done it absolutely impeccably. So I cannot respect him enough for that, and I can't even thank him enough for that, because that takes some balls.
Steven, I have been following you for a very long time, and I've talked to you multiple times, and I genuinely mean this when I say this. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for putting on this event. Thank you for putting so much time, effort, money, motivation into this. I really respect the hell out of you, and I would fly to Omaha to help you knock on doors and canvass for that mayoral race, even if it costs me $2,000, because I believe in what you stand for, I believe in what you're doing, and I want to be a part of it.
It's one thing to be organizing an event when you don't even have to worry that much about money or any out-of-pocket expenses. When you're the one that is both organizing and funding everything, that's double the work, double the stress, and so it's absolutely quadruple the appreciation for all the work that you've put in and all the personal expenses you've had to compensate and lost streaming opportunities and everything too. So it really, I think, means a lot to a lot of people that you are coming out here every week essentially and really taking an active part in making sure things work.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate everything that you do very much.
Thanks, Destiny. You're great. And not a Nazi, no matter what they say.
Domo arigato, Stephen Chan. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen. You did an awesome job. Great doing everything.
Destiny is a gnome. You can put that in at the end.
You know that's going in there too.